removal training, they do, that's not something that they encourage to use for your own, monetary gain. But, if you can familiarize yourself with it or learn how to use it properly, then it is a good tool.
Yeah.
As far as the bootable virus removal CDs go, I don't have a whole lot of recommendations. I tend to use Bitdefender and eScan, and recently Microsoft released their standalone System Sweeper beta, and that's really great for finding rootkits actually. But it's I've seen it actually make a lot of unbootable systems now bootable, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's free. Obviously, it's in the beta stages. They're not. I don't think that they know whether or not they're going to release a corporate version or a commercial version of it. But use it while you can. I don't know if anybody really has any recommendations as far as the bootable virus removal CDs go, but for some of the unbootable systems, it does help. But kind of going back to the documentation piece that I had, it's definitely important to develop a consistent documented routine. If you have a shop and you're going to spend a couple hours on virus removals, I would document it so that you have a good process to go through, so that you're very consistent in your work, and it's something that any tech could follow. So if you have a shop and you have 3 or 4 techs, everybody knows what's going on. You can leave it, and 5 hours later, somebody else come back to it, and they'll know exactly where you left off. If you're trying to run a business with other techs working for you, definitely the business should be able to run itself and deliver consistent service whether or not you're there. And just documentation is highly important in that kind of company. I don't know if I could really stress that enough.
Yeah, and that way you're not reinventing the wheel every time you get a new virus in too. You don't. I mean,
Exactly.
every now and then I'll hear of a new tool and I want to use it. But then,
you're spending more time trying to learn the tool.
Right.
You don't want to spend all your time trying to learn the software. Just use what you know. Use what you know works, and use the heck out of it.
Get it done, and yeah, right.
It'll help you be more efficient, and it'll actually increase your turnaround, and it's all about making money. It'll make you more money if you can crank out 45 computers in 2 days. Then you're going to make more money than the guy that can only do 15.
Right. Yep. Yeah. But, so if you recommend like maybe getting a page printed out of your workflow and just check it off as you go, right on each computer, or even a digital copy that goes with each job. Yep.
It's a great way to go.
Wow.
But that's actually all I had.
A lot of good tips, man. That's a lot jammed into a show.
Yeah.
This is the kind of podcast show, this particular episode, where you're going to have to rewind and like, man, what was that he said again? That's the beauty of podcasts. It's not live radio. Everybody didn't just listen to it and in one ear out the other. They can actually go back and take it in if they come across something like, well, I think I remember hearing that. That's what I love about podcasting. It's not, it's always there.
Yep.
And well, Ralph McNabb, do you have any Google Plus page or anything that people could get a hold of you if they want to give you a shout out or say hey or anything? Facebook, anything like that?
Really, the best I could do is my Twitter. It's just R McNabb at Twitter there. R, M as in Mary, C, N as in Nancy, A, B as in boy, B as in boy. And you can follow me on Twitter, give me a response or something, and I'll see it. But I don't really do a whole lot with I don't really do a whole lot with social networking as far as that goes. I don't have the time.
Well, let Ralph know when you use one of his tips. Ralph, you got time for an email?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. We got one email tonight, and this one is from James. and says, I recently had an Asus K60i laptop in that had a bad hard drive. I swapped it, no problem. But while the case was off, I noticed that there was only one stick of RAM on the bottom of this board. Not entirely unusual, but I hadn't seen a laptop this new set up like that. So then I looked under the keyboard, but didn't see anything there either. Then I removed the one stick and saw what looked like a little NAND chips, like you would see on RAM soldered onto the motherboard. I decided to leave this stick out and booted the laptop. Sure enough, it said there was 2 gigs of RAM. So either they hid the second RAM stick somewhere I could not find, or this is the first motherboard I've ever seen with built-in memory. Have you ever seen such a setup? Thanks for all the great shows and keep up the good work. That's from James Beck, and he's the owner of Epic Technologies LLC. So I have, maybe those NAND chips were actually the memory that you're talking that was missing, that you couldn't find. I would think that the memory would be in the same spot on the motherboard, and I have seen, and I don't remember what kind of laptop it was, another laptop that had an empty memory spot that shipped with 2 gigs, but one stick of 2 gigs, not 2 gigabyte sticks. Well, what do you think, Ralph? Have you seen that before?
I've not actually personally seen that before. I mean, I've seen a lot of Dell systems, particularly that they'll have one slot on the bottom and then another under the keyboard. Can't imagine that would be a really great design, because if that memory goes bad, you're gonna have some issues. Including non-booting issues and random blue screens. That can be a huge warranty problem. That's definitely a great tip for anybody to keep their eyes out for. But that might leave some technicians puzzled.
Yeah, memory does go bad, and if it's not the piece that you popped out to test, that could be it might have you going for a while.
Yeah, that might be a new motherboard right there.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, if anybody has any ideas, let us know on that. And anybody else has any questions and they want to have us read them on the show, they can send us an email at mail.podnutz.com. We also have a voicemail set up. If you want to have your question answered, you can just leave a voicemail on our phone number. It's 7076 Podnut. Just call that number, leave your message, and we'll play it on the air and answer your question, hopefully. All right, Ralph. Well, hey, thanks, man, for coming back for the round 2 of your information.
Oh, absolutely. It was a pleasure.
It was a ton of information too. I really enjoyed it. Anybody else wants to get a hold of Ralph? He's on the Twitter, and
yep.
Give him a thanks so he'll get more into social media.
I'll try anyways. I can't promise I'll have the time, but being busy is good.
And if any of you guys are just starting out in your computer repair business, maybe you don't have a website, maybe you're not sure of exactly what you're going to be fixing. At podnutz.com/deals, there's a lot of specials going on with different computer repair videos. There's a website builder, just all kinds of help that you can get to start your business and or expand your business. So check out podnutz.com/deals. Well, thank you very much, Ralph. This is show number 344. Thanks everybody for listening tonight, and those in the chat room. Appreciate that too. See you later.
Thank you.